Hi, welcome back to TRCD Retro Programming. I'm using VCC right now, and I want to see if I can make a sine wave on the text screen. I want to see how easy that would be to do. So, um, the first thing I need to do is change my keyboard. Actually, I'm going to leave my keyboard because I know if I do that, I'll end up with capture issues. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And not sure why that key isn't working. I guess it's already in that layout. So anyways, I'm just going to put sine waves or sine wave, and I'm going to be using locate, and I don't have a lot of experience with this computer, but I'm going to do the best I can. I was going to do it on the graphics screen, but I figured let's try it on the text screen since it has a much wider text screen with a lot more rows, so there should be enough room to do this. So I'm just going to go and start I'm just going to put S equals 1 to 10. That's it. And then for 3, I'm going to put locate and X. We're going to start with X. Then we're going to make it wider. Locate, and then so in here is where I'm going to put the it isn't a function. Well, yes, I'm going to have to make it a function. I don't know. I don't think I have to create a function. I think I'm just going to do, and I was doing this earlier this morning when I was getting ready on TRC GP, seeing how well it worked, and it worked. So if I can remember what I was doing, we want to do integer int, which what it does is it looks for the whole number. So if it's 1.5, 1.8, doesn't matter. It doesn't round. I don't know why it doesn't round, but it doesn't. I don't think. And it looks for the whole number. So integer, okay, in here we're going to put, for its input, sine x, and then times 10, and close it. So we have 1, 2, 3 left brackets, and 1, 2, 3 right brackets. That's how you check to make sure you're putting enough brackets. Because so the input for int is sine x, which needs its own set of brackets, times 10. I think this is what I was doing earlier. So if I print int of 1.2, it's going to give me 1. If I print int of 1.8, it's still going to give me 1. So it doesn't round up or down, which I think it should do, but it doesn't. So, and the reason I'm multiplying sine x by 10 is because sine 1, if I print sine 1, it gives me a decimal, and they're all decimals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I don't think I even get a 1 anything, but I might. But so I multiply it times 10 so that it puts the 8 there, and I'll show you. If I do sine 1 times 10, um, it gives me the 8. But I can't graph 8.41 whatever, so we can't graph, less than 1. So that's where the int comes in, and it gets rid of the decimal, anything after the decimal. So if I print int sine 1 times 10, now I just get 8, and that's what I'm looking for. I don't need the decimal portion. Okay, so let's just look at this again. So if I put next s, or if I put print how am I going to do this? If I put print int now sine x times 10, okay, 5 next s, and run that, I'm getting a syntax error. Edit 3. Not sure why. I don't see a syntax error in there. Um, I don't see a syntax error in there, but it's coming up as a syntax error. It's something to do with the brackets. I'm not sure. I guess maybe it doesn't use brackets because I just took the brackets away and now it's going through. But I'm not getting I'm getting a 0. I don't know why. Let's edit 3 and put a tick mark there. And so now I'm getting all zeros. The locate was offsetting the print because they work in tandem. So I didn't realize that you don't use parentheses with locate. So that's where the syntax error was coming from. But now I don't know why I'm getting all zeros. That doesn't make any sense, why I'm getting all zeros here. It shouldn't be all zeros. I just showed you that comes up with numbers, but I'm getting all zeros. Oh, you know why? Is because it's not. I need to change number 2 to X because there's no variable in there. Let's see here. This is getting frustrating. Edit. Now I'll get the numbers that I need. So we start with 8, then we jump to 9, we go down to 1, then we go down to -8, then we go down even farther to -10, then we jump up to -3, then to 6, then to 9, then down to 4. So that's a sine wave. Definitely. Now we just have to graph it. But I need to let's see how the heck to do this here. I need to clear the screen first of all, and pick a color, but I don't know. Let's renumber this and list this back out. So 2 CLS blue, or that's white. CLS, where's blue? 1, 2, 3, 3. Edit 5. That feels better with some colors in there. Alright, now we have to get these numbers into a graph form. And so, we can use the numbers themselves as a graph for right now. But, I don't know. Let's edit 4 and run this. So the numbers are being graphed on the screen, but we're going it seems like it's upside down and backwards. And we're going out of range. Let's edit 4 again. Put a tick mark in there. Run this. So we're doing 8, 9. 1 should be on the bottom. It's putting it on top, so it's upside down and backwards. And this computer can't graph negative numbers. So we're going to have to put, for Y, that's not going to do us any good here, because we need to, if we go 8, 9, then down to 1, then back up to 8, 10, down to 3. I guess if I use absolute value, it's going to be crude, but let's see if it works. It's going to be crude, but I don't know how to, like, say, if it's a negative number, then do this. So I need to do away with that right now, because I don't know how to test for a negative number. Actually, I could say, if so-and-so is less than 1, then I don't know. Let's just, let me try this first. Now we're going to have to use absolute value of this entire thing here, so that we're not dealing with negative numbers. And then, so that takes away the negatives. And now edit for, let's run this. I'm still getting an FC error. I don't know why. I need to push it down, because I think it's going up over this top here. And I don't know if int SINE like 6. No, it still keeps the negative sign. So we need to push it down. So this is the Y portion and locate. We need to push the Y portion down where it starts by, let's push it down by 10. So now we get all the numbers, they all fit, but it's a mess. It goes 8, 9, 8, 8, 9, 1, then 8, 10, 3, 6, 9, 4. So we need to, now that we pushed it down far enough, we got to widen it. So we'll put a plus 10 there. Hopefully it's not too wide. Just move the whole thing over. Oh, God. It just pushed the whole thing over. Alright, so that's not going to work. We have to say something like, oh, man. Let's renumber this. I don't know why that didn't work. the heck? So x1 equals x1 plus 10. Now there's 80 columns. If we start right here, there should be enough. Actually, 80, we have 10. That it's going to have to be less than that. I have to use a calculator here. So 80 divided by 10 is 8. So, man. x1 equals x1 plus 8. That'll fit them all. And then, instead of x here, for 4, we need x1 here. Now that should work. And it does. And there we go. There's our crazy sine wave, you guys. It worked. Look at this. And I just got rid of the negatives because on this computer it doesn't matter. Because I mean, it would be a lot more complicated to try to convert all the negatives to somehow get it to somehow get it to, you know, if it's positive, you could put, like, if it's less than 1, then, you know, you'd have to write some kind of formula to get it to graph the negative number. So I just got rid of it because on this computer you have to play with it and to get it to do what you want. And we just created a sine wave out of the actual numbers that it's generating. So we have 8, 9, 1, 8, 10, 3, 6, 9, 6. But it's upside down and backwards, and it's not using negative numbers. So your x, what is that called? I don't know what it's called. I can't even think of the name of it. You know, when you draw x, y, I can't think of the word. It's too early in the morning right now. I just can't think straight yet. I can't think of the word now. It's, what is that word where when you have a, I can't think of the word. This is ridiculous. This is the second time this has happened to me. The decimal portion, I couldn't think of the right word for that, and I still can't. For some reason, and that's bugging me. And now I can't think of the right word for. And let's, you know what? Let's put a GOTO, because I don't want to see. Just want to see this here. I don't know why this cursor is still here. Nobody has answered this question for me yet. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in VCC, the cursor hangs around, and I don't know why. I don't know how to resolve that. It shouldn't be there, and it's still there, and it drives me nuts, and I don't know why that's there and how to get rid of it. So instead of OK, now we have a cursor sitting there, and I have no idea why. I don't know why that's there. So, like I said, I'm not that familiar with this computer. And I still can't think of the right name for what for the oh, what is that word? The axis. The x-axis should be right here. Right here. and my capture is not good, so it's off. Maybe on VCC it works. All these emulators have a different capture. When you use Xbox, when I use TRS-80 GP, the pointer is way off. When I use Xror, it's right on, and then when I use VCC, it's on point, but it skips. So this is the X-axis. It would be right here, between the 1 and the 3, and go across like that, but it's upside down. So these numbers should be up, coming down like this, and then this should be all in the negative area, the 8, 10, 3, and then we get back up into positives here. So it's upside down, but it's not backwards, it's just upside down. So you would have to do the opposites of everything, and which I did in previous other tons of videos. I would have to do the opposite right here, and let's see if that makes any difference. I would just put -1 times this, and now that fixes it. So now this is the way it should look, okay? And here's where this is what it really looks like. It starts off high, and then it drops below the y-axis, x-axis, and then up. So this 3 is still in the negative, and then these are all positive, and the 6 is negative. So we just did this together. Us made a sine wave out of the actual return numbers that we're getting from this formula here that I wrote. And what I was going to do is just make the last thing I want to do here is just get rid of those numbers, and I don't want to, if I do that, you know what, let's insert and put print, and then just an O, and then separate this and take it out so I can use it again. Now we just get O's. So they don't all connect together because we're missing several points here, because you can't graph a fraction of a number or a decimal of a number, and it doesn't round up and down. So if I did this on the graphics screen, I would just connect them. And so that's what I'm going to do later, is transfer this to a graphics screen and then connect them. And you wouldn't see this, you would see like curves and stuff. But I decided to do it on the text screen because it has a better capability here on this computer for the text screen. But I don't have time to transfer this to a graphics screen right now, but I'll do part 2 tomorrow and see how that looks. It's literally just a HSAT routine, actually, on high res here with colors, and I would connect them like I did in the other video for the parabola. So this is a sine wave video that I just did here quickly. I had time. I was just had a little time on my hands lately, and so I just did this instead of wasting time. Why not write a computer program? So, that's it for this. And what I did yesterday is I reviewed something of my own work, which I did years ago that I didn't even remember, and that was the law of sines. And I said, wow, how did I do that? And I had to relearn what I did, because I've done so many of these videos and written so many programs. I must have written thousands of programs in the last 4 years since I learned how to work on a color computer, a Coco. Um, I started when COVID started, so it must have been right after that in 2020. So 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. We're coming up on 6 years since COVID started. And that was a terrible time for us here in the United States and everywhere else. I can't believe that even happened, and it lasted for a while. It lasted for a couple years. You had the mask and everything for like 2 years. We had to wear masks, and then this slowly they phased it out. And because of shutdowns and things like that, I needed something to do, and so I went back to my childhood and relearned how to use this computer as an adult, and now I can use it as a tool, and it's really a great thing. Um, but to be able to write this code, and my graphing calculator is my second best friend right now, and so I'm relearning trigonometry and going to be taking calculus pretty soon, actually pre-calculus, over again. I took it back in 1999, believe it or not. That was almost 27 years ago. So I remember nothing about it except for the law of sines and basic trigonometry, like the Pythagorean theorem, and side angle side and things like that you use in geometry and algebra. That's as far as I can remember. And so I had to go back, and I said, how did I do the law of sines 2 years ago, when I was just looking at it in a book and I couldn't remember what it was. And um, I was looking at a calculus book a few weeks ago, and I didn't know what the law of sines was, and then I realized I did a video on it 2 years ago, and so I know what it is now. It's not that hard to understand, so I just relearned it yesterday, and I was using it, making sure that, with your graphing calculator, that your answers are right. So it was right and everything, but I'm just going to cut this off. I don't want to bore you. Um, but I want to put trajectory like this, and this is, just the tip of the iceberg, but I could use this in a program where an enemy shoots a bullet or something at you, and it goes in a sine wave like that. Um, I can make this into an animation as well. And so I can use it in my coding for, but if an enemy throws something at you and it's in a sine wave um, trajectory. So that is it. I don't know who's going to be interested in this, but thank you for watching, and take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.